It'll never make any sense if you're looking at the outside world trying to like piece your own puzzle together. You just got to work backwards and be like, okay, how did I feel going into that? Because I swore that it was the right thing to do, but now in hindsight,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't so much feel, you can't be like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I did that. Fuck. Oh shit. You just got to be like, this is where I am. How do I navigate forward to align more with where I want to go?
Hello, and welcome back to the You Amaze Me recording with myself, Amanda Baker, licensed clinical social worker slash therapist slash yoga instructor slash poet, creative being, intuitive human, whatever you want to call me. That all encompasses myself in this space here. So, welcome to this sacred space for your soul, for sharing story and sharing your soul. And today we have a guest. It's Kristen Aunt Wreath, or Kristen Ott from Instagram. That's technically how we met. But I'll briefly share just a little bit about her. She is passionate about helping women find their limitless energy and the space between forcing themselves to just get over it and needing it to show up in order to be happy. Which when I first saw you, Kristen, and welcome, but I just want to share, like, right off the bat, when I first came across your page, and I think I may have seen whether it was a reel that you had done and your like pinned post. You had this pinned post, and it almost felt like you were reading poetry in what you were sharing, really about like abandonment wounds, relationship and attachment, things that many people fall into when it comes to having obsessions, and especially if you're like trying to like get over a guy or get over a relationship. That's what really stood out to me. And your view is so radically different than what is typical, whether it's in the healing space or the psychology space or what trained experts say. And like even myself as a licensed therapist, I kind of go against the grain too. And so coming across what you're passionate about, what you were sharing really landed with me. I love it. And I'm just so happy that you're here to share more about that today.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited as well. And I'm glad to hear you say that because, yeah, the more I sink into this, the more comfortable I get. Kind of like, I guess you want, in the industry, it's like being a leader in this space. Like, quite crassly, like fuck the narrative that's out there.
Thank
It's
you.
I like my soul. Now that I'm really sinking into this, like my soul is so like disgusted by like the get over it, move on, let it go. You're better than that. You deserve better than that. And it's like I know for me, I think a lot of people now, I know a lot of people resonate with it. Like, yeah, we say that as like a facade, but
Mm-hmm.
like inside our nervous system is like, no, that's what I want. Like I want that person. I know maybe it's not perfect, but like I still want them. And so we get ourselves in these cycles of like forcing ourselves to get the fuck over it. And then the pattern just repeats itself. And I can't tell you how many guys I was like super excited about,
Mm-hmm.
went all the way in, and I promised myself I wasn't going to do it. But like, then I was so kind of like disgusted with myself for getting so attached so quickly and having it implode again that I would just shame myself out of getting over it. But I was never really getting over it.
Anyway, right. It's almost like you're pretending of just like on the outside, even for some people. And I work with clients who, struggle within the dating world or in their relationships or a marriage ends or what have you. And right, that message is like move on, you're better than that, or why do you even like stay attached? That's
Why do you
really
even want somebody that does that? It's like, because I fucking do. I don't know. Because I'm an idiot. I don't know.
I feel bad, right? Because it's just like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm dumb. Like now I feel dumb or stupid or an idiot. When like the brain or the heart both feel something, feel that resonance, felt good from something with
Yeah.
that relationship or that person. And of course it wants to hold on. Of course it wants to cling. But then we
Yeah.
hear, right, like don't attach or don't cling. And there's value in that, but your perspective, which we can get into so you can share for people who
Yeah.
don't know of you and don't know how you frame it, your perspective still reinforces or highlights detachment, but in a different way. That to me sounds like healthier for our systems, for our humanness, than
Mhm.
this like let go, surrender, do the meditation. And I did that for a while. I was like, okay, I'm going to let this person go, as if telling myself or doing these meditations or writing out a new manifestation was
Yeah.
going to change.
Meanwhile, your nervous system is like, "Okay, hold my beer. Watch how long I make you hold on to this person."
Good luck, because the next
Yeah.
person's going to repeat the exact same thing.
Right, or you just, like, you never do really let that person go because I'm of the belief everything's a reflection,
Yes, same.
right? So, when we're holding on to something, and typically speaking, maybe it was like a full-blown relationship. I find the people that get the most attached are the ones in that situationship where they weren't chosen, or like it never really panned out, but it was so close and like there was so much potential there. Um, but like everything's a reflection, so you're always actually holding on to a piece of yourself. There's a piece of you that you're not letting go of. And I guess like it's twofold because whenever I would get over somebody in that kind of thing, like those people that I was like really stuck on and really obsessed with, it felt so icky to me because like if you imagine like your little dream bubble, like I do on my Instagram, if any of you watch my Instagram, I make a little cartoon dream bubble with my two little emojis in it or bitmojis in it.
It's
And
super
that's like my dream bubble. And it's like when you think about that love and that potential from that person, what they're actually doing is reflecting in the dream bubble a version of you.
cute.
Like you're thinking, oh my God, look how happy I would be if they chose me. Look how fulfilled I am when I think about my future. The thing is that when we like just get over it and move on, you're actually letting go of that version of you. And that to me, it has clicked to me. That's why it always felt so crappy to force myself to be somewhere that I wasn't, because I wasn't focused on the right thing in the dream bubble. Like the limerence, the obsession, the anxiety, the stress, it all comes when all we do is focus on that other person in the dream bubble. If you shift your focus to yourself, you realize how much access you have to become that version of you to the best of your abilities
Yes.
without actually needing somebody to choose you or pick you or love you. And then, the chicken or the egg conversation is once you start becoming that version of you, that's when somebody actually does show up and pick you because you're giving them space to, because you've now chosen
Because
yourself.
you've chosen yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've chosen to say to the universe, hey, I'm not going to let these crappy circumstances or situations keep me depressed and anxious and sad. I'm going to go out and I'm going to become this version of me, this happy, fulfilled, like I'm going to live in my purpose. And our desires are such a blessing when you look at them that way.
Great.
But yeah, there's still, we're still detaching. Like we still don't want to cling to things in the outside 3D world because that's really unhealthy. But for me, I found a better outlet, one that allows me to embody the future version of me. So it's like this combination of manifestation and psychology.
Yes, which I love, and that's kind of what I've like moved into myself. What I'm hearing from you is, you have, and I did like your, was a 5-day like podcast mini series type thing, and I
Oh
listened.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it talked about
I
the,
fixed the audio on that, by the way. To any of you who want to get it, the second episode, I fixed the audio on it. It was very muffled.
oh, I don't even know if I realized that it was muffled. I felt like,
Okay, good, because some people did.
oh, okay, okay.
To the point where I was like, I gotta fix it. Damn
Yeah,
it.
which is great when you take that feedback and be like, oh,
Yeah.
whoops, I can redo this.
But I'm so glad you did it. I'm really glad you did it.
Yeah, it was really eye-opening to understand too, like the, well, one, before I go into that, one thing that you've already, just to reflect back what you just shared, was really about the way that somebody else is like this reflection, this mirror.
Mhm.
And so when you perhaps go into like the limerence, the lust, the obsession, the potential, the love, even, all of that is reflecting back something in oneself. It's like that person presents this kind of anchor that reflects back to you or shines back in you what already exists in you. Like, I believe that you wouldn't feel those things if it wasn't in you. It's just this person's kind of showing you what you can gain access to. And then something feels like, well, that's the only way I can have access to that. It's through that person.
Correct.
Okay.
You go right into scarcity mindset. This
Yeah.
is it. This is it. This is it. And you get this tunnel vision. And that's when, that's when the psychology world will be like, oh, butterflies are crap. Chemistry is crap.
Yeah.
sparks are, there's one woman who has fuck the spark. And I'm like,
why do we have it otherwise? Why do we have this like spark and this the chemistry if it isn't a part of us to foster and nurture to grow? Right? We hear like, oh, if you have that, then that's just your trauma coming up again,
attachment
an
wound.
attachment wound.
You're just attached to potential, stuck on an idea of someone. And it's like, it's because there's some truth to that. But also, like, it's not the chemistry and the sparks and the excitement that is the problem. It's the fear that you have hidden, like, in here behind that. That's what kills you, because we find somebody who we think is so freaking great. And then we're like, well, I don't deserve it. The other shoe's going to drop. Things fall apart. I don't deserve love. That's what you want to address.
That's what you need to face and to confront. And thankfully, like I view those dynamics that show up in your life as like the window of opportunity. Like, thankfully, this is showing up so that I can go into myself and realize, like, what are the fears? What are those negative beliefs? What are the wounds that are now showing up that I still need to heal or like confront and face and shift within self so that I can show up better, whether it's in that relationship or another one, or just in life in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned
Totally.
fear, right? And that was in that like podcast mini series. So
yeah, that's a big part of that mini series.
yeah. So yeah, tell us more about like fear and then desire, because those were like the two main things that stood out, at least for me.
Yeah, this is like exactly what I'm teaching in my workshop right now. And like, as this is evolving, this is like a good segue into that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm still learning too, I'm coming off of a lifetime of like disorganized attachment. Like, my home life growing up was so chaotic, so inconsistent, so explosive. There was so much anger. So now, like, I carry that with me. And for the longest time, for decades, it was like, oh, somebody's here to save me. Finally. And that is what I would, think is excitement. And granted, there's all those guys that I look back on who I'm like, wow, I was really excited about him. It's all still real. So, like, I think step one, fear, shame is a very big piece of this fear. Like, please allow yourself to be where you are. You can't start anywhere but where you are. And if you hate where you are, you'll never get to where you want to go, because all you're doing is manifesting from an energy of hate, which is just fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for me, it's just like, do I feel good right now? Do I feel safe in my own skin, in my own body? Or am I chaotic inside?
Mm-hmm.
And working backwards, you have to know what those energies are, because when you grow up in chaos, your nervous system is like, no, bitch, chaos is where we live. Like, this is the only way we know how to survive. So keep going. Literally, your nervous system and your subconscious mind just want to keep you alive. You're literally in survival. That's not thriving. So, like, you have to know when you're in that fearful state. It doesn't feel good. And in order to know, you have to go easy on yourself. Just allow yourself to be where you are. And I have just said, oh, I'm in chaos energy right now. Like, I'm not going to do that. I just go, nope, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to text them. I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to tell them how I feel. I'm not going to put them in their place, because I know I'm creating from a void right now.
Huge awareness, right? Like, huge
I mean,
level of awareness.
Self-awareness is like, it's like self-awareness, persistence, patience, and personal accountability.
Yes. Wow.
If you can work on those 4 traits in yourself, you're going to be golden.
And I'm hearing that, and I'm hearing, like you say, the reducing of the shame, right? So it's like, yes, you can set that intention and commit to the patience, the self-awareness, the accountability, I'm in chaos energy, so I'm not going to act on it. And right, to reduce that shame, that if you do, right, let's say you do act on it, because maybe you're not in that self-awareness, maybe you are just acting from that impulse of chaos, to then also, like, at some point, that self-awareness will come in. It might be after the fact, but then
it could be. Absolutely.
Yeah. That after.
Because there's so many times, I mean, how many times have we been like, nope, this is my intuition. I know it. This is what I'm supposed to do. And then, like, 24, 48 hours later, we're like, maybe I wish I could unsend that,
Yeah.
But the important thing is to, like, grow from yourself, not from what's happening out here, because it'll never make any sense if you're looking at the outside world trying to, like, piece your own puzzle together. You just got to work backwards and be like, okay, how did I feel going into that? Because I swore that it was the right thing to do, but now in hindsight,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't so much feel. But again, that you can't be like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I did that. Fuck. Oh shit. You just got to be like, this is where I am. How do I navigate forward to align more with where I want to go?
Yes. Yes.
So let me look at this situation. How did I feel going into that? Okay, I want to consciously log that. Now I know that I was in a chasing energy right there. When I sent that text, I tried to convince myself, my nervous system was like, this is home. This is perfect. This is how you're going to live, but we don't want to live, we want to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to go back and look at that and be like, I was in survival right there. Like all I wanted, I needed that text, I needed that closure, I needed that those last words. When you start to learn this, then you can thrive. But getting to the energy of thriving feels icky because your nervous system doesn't like it. It doesn't want change. It wants pattern. It wants to keep you alive. If we do something that's like so drastically different than our pattern, we don't send the 4,700 character text message laying out how we feel, and we hold on to that and we just observe. Our whole system is like literally like we're choking on, we have no air left, there's no oxygen, so it doesn't feel good to do it. That's why you can't just like be like, oh, it's my intuition. You have to learn your intuition.
Yes. Yes.
Like touch in here and be like, what does this actually feel like? Is it fear, or is it my higher self, or love?
Mm.
Chaos or love?
Especially too, like you said, in identifying yourself with this disorganized attachment and living probably in chaotic environment, right? Then there was probably little opportunity to have access or to get to know your intuition. And
Oh yeah. um I mean, I have like an explosive personality. Like when I'm triggered, I mean, there's been so, especially when it comes to somebody that I feel like I'm really connecting with and we have a great energy. It's like the second things start to shift, my whole system is like,
mm,
and like, I it hasn't been easy. I mean, I'm 43 years old and I'm single. Like, there's a reason for that. And I'm so glad that I never settled for somebody along the way. But like, yeah, it's been a journey. And it's like, I think a lot of these coaches online too present the transformational
mhm,
part of them. And especially when it comes to manifestation, like it's not easy to because what you're always trying to manifest is a new version of you, right? You want to manifest that version of you that gets to live in the reality that you want to live in, the version of you who you see in the dream bubble, the one who feels chosen and loved. Like, let's get to that state. But again, your nervous system to go from where you are to the dream bubble is like, no. So you have to work for it. It's not like this like light and love and rainbows and butterflies
mhm,
and
mm.
just say affirmations in a mirror 50 times and you'll get what you want. Like, it does not work that way.
Well, and typically for those, yeah, trying to manifest a new version of them, there's a huge gap. There's that huge gap from where you are to where you're like, I want to be up here. And we just think, oh, if I do the vision board, if I write it all out, if I say the affirmations, then tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be here. Oh, I met this new person. I'm already up here. And it like, whoop, then it collapses
But yeah, and the thing is like you probably actually are, but
for a little bit.
yeah, but you've tied your silly little mind has tied your energy cord to that other person being the reason that you're up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where we get it wrong. So it's like if they leave, our happiness is like collapsed into them. And when they leave, they take our happiness with them. They take our fulfillment with them. They take our wholeness with them. And that's where we fall back into like this version who's like, boo hoo, life sucks.
Yes. And then you go back down. But I guess in that scenario, it's like, well, why did they leave? There was still something in, I would say, in me, if I'm using me in this example of if I got up here and I was truly here, but not projecting that they are the reason that I'm so happy, right? It's like that version knows I'm happy or I feel safe, I'm more secure because something internally shifted.
Yes, when you can hold that state, when you can
Mhm.
hold that version of yourself by saying, I am whole, I am complete, and I am worthy. And here's the caveat. If somebody that we really like and we feel really aligned with and it doesn't work out with, they leave, it's okay to be sad and to even question yourself
Mm-hmm.
and to say, what did I do that made them leave? Like, we're human
Mm-hmm.
and we're designed to feel all of these emotions. The question I always ask myself is, how long do I let myself sit in that unworthy energy? How long do I ask the question, what's wrong with me? How long do I allow myself to feel less than because somebody else chose a different path than what I wanted them to choose? You know, I deserve more than that. And so, dominantly speaking, which is only 51% of the time, you want to be in this energy of like, fuck yeah, I'm worthy. Fuck yeah, I deserve to be chosen. And if somebody decides not to choose me, how personally do I take that? Or
Mm-hmm.
how, like, what length of time do I allow myself to beat myself up because I wasn't chosen again?
Yes.
So it's just, and it's a balance for everybody. It's different. And some people come into our lives and they hit harder than others, like they really resonate with our soul. But I believe that the ones we pine over the most, those connections are really reflecting the highest version of us back to ourselves. That potential of what could have been with them is still alive for what could be with us, which still gives us the opportunity to call in that energy
Yes.
just in a different form.
Yes.
Maybe it's not that dude or that girl, and and I have one of these where I'm like, I still don't understand. Like, the lesson still hasn't
Mm.
integrated into my life. And I'm still like, pick me. But like, at the end of the day, I also plant the seed. Who knows what would have happened? Who knows how much more pain would have ensued if it had worked out with them? Like, there's a divine protection going on here. And I still have an opportunity to embody that energy that I wanted to embody with him so bad. I can still embody it.
Yes. So,
And there's 8 billion people on the planet.
yes. Yeah.
Somebody else will match that energy for me.
Well, and that acceptance that you can have of like, or that the, for you to admit that you can admit out loud, I still pine over this person. I still have
Yeah.
the thoughts about this person. I still may be obsessive about this person. I still wish this person would have chosen me. And you're holding that space at the same time to be like, and I can embody that energy, even though he's not physically here choosing me. That you have that energy that you can put into you and all the facets of life as a whole.
Yeah. And I think when we are, if I were to sit here and be like, oh, I'm kind of stupid for still loving this person. And like, I know everybody probably thinks there's something wrong with me, but that's actually the reflection. I don't think there's anything wrong with me for still feeling love for another human being that I had a really great connection with, and like, I feel myself differently hold space for that now, because I think if it's not him, it's something better. But when I shame myself, it's like, well, this is the best I'm ever going to get. And so that's one of the things that I flipped,
I love
is like, it's this or something. You're allowed to desire what you're desiring. Like, utilize it to your highest good. Yeah, we got to learn to detach, because like, when people aren't choosing us, we don't want to chase them.
that.
That's a really, really shitty way to live. And we don't want to continue to like put our life on hold until they pick us. But we can embody and then also know this energetic feeling that I have for like what I want to take up this physical space, that's still possible. So if it's not him or her, it's something better.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's important to say to yourself, remind yourself, for anyone, of like, if it's not this and you can still want this, desire this and something better, and being open to that. Open to
That's the thing. You have to be open to it, because a lot of times we're not. And I know in the past I have shut people off because I'm like, no, I'm waiting for another person to pick me, even though they're so far from picking me. Like, they're so removed from my, realm. But like, that's the silly things that we do.
yes.
And so and all of this stuff takes time to retrain your nervous system. Like, this is not like manifest whatever you want overnight. You're manifesting a new version of you. That takes time.
Fine.
That's why
Yes.
it's important to like focus on you and trust that the outside world is aligning and everything will happen at the right time.
Yes. And that's that gap of like, maybe it's less of like, I'm here and I'm trying to get here, and more, I'm here and
Mhm.
I'm willing to appreciate when I'm here, that I've moved from here to here and
Yes.
then to here to here. However, a willingness to also have that selective attention to see that within yourself. Like for you, even saying that you shifted some things, these reframes are, if everything's a manifestation, right, are manifestations that you've done for you and your nervous system.
Yeah, and that's the most important manifestation that you can focus on,
Yes.
creating a new you, because you don't have control. The universe's job is to manifest your 3D reality, but it's always mirroring who you're being.
Hmm. Hmm.
So to some extent, don't sink into that too much and don't be like, oh my God, this happened here. Why is this a mirror? What is it? What is it? What is it? Like, just, am I creating joy for myself?
Hmm.
That's what I ask myself. How can I create joy right now? If I'm sitting here wallowing and pining and boo hoo, my life sucks, like, that's not, no. What can I do to shift my own energy right now? Go for a walk. My big thing is taking a dance class. It's like my favorite thing in the world to do. Like, can I call somebody? Can I go have a glass of wine? Like, what can I do to shift my energy so that my vibrational, frequency is higher?
Mm.
Buzzwords, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's true. Like, sadness is down here, joy is up here, and they literally send out an energy that is different.
Hmm. Yes. And we know that, right? Because we can't see it, but we feel it. We feel the difference between sadness
Yeah.
and joy.
Oh yeah, that friend that you have who walks in a room and you're just like, "Oh, here we go. Like, she's going to drain the energy out of all of us. Hopefully she doesn't bitch the whole time." And then you have the other friend who's like, "Yes, like, oh my God, so and so's here," because they're just like a ball of light.
Mm. Yeah, and it's felt. Right. And so
Yeah.
we have those sensors, and that into like there too can be that discernment between what is intuition or what is just like repeated anxiety or repeated chaos or that type of energy that you have like noticing within yourself.
Yeah, and that's it all comes back to like that awareness, that like check in with yourself. Where are you on your own little scale? Are you happy? Are you really happy? Are you feeling safe? And if you're coming off of a lifetime of not feeling safe, again, have some grace with yourself, because it's going to take a minute for you to know what true safety is. But that's the goal. Because when we create that space for true safety in ourselves and we recognize it, then we can recognize it externally from us.
Hmm.
That's like where everything is a reflection. If you can't feel that safety within yourself, this is why we get ourselves in patterns of like emotional unavailability, inconsistency, because that's what we know as home.
Hmm.
So once you shift that internally, then you can recognize it externally and you'll feel like, oh, this isn't boring. This is actually really safe.
Yes. Yeah. So how did you learn, or what supports or helps you for that discernment of what is intuition versus what is anxiety, or what is safe versus what is chaos?
Great question. It literally came down to me like labeling it within myself, like just constantly checking in with myself, which, yeah, it was exhausting, but that was my process.
Hmm.
Um, when everything's kind of connected in our, like, what I call belief cycle. So it's your beliefs that kind of create your thoughts, or thoughts are associated with your beliefs. Depending on what you're thinking about, you're going to feel it. Is it heavy or is it like light? That's my indication. If I'm just like, I feel something, that, like, that's how I look at my intuition. Um, in terms of like, am I really feeling safe in my own skin or not? Now, intuition with like, I just moved to Austin and people are like, why did you move to Austin? And I'm like, I don't actually know yet. Like, it's kind of crazy. I don't know why I'm here. It's always been next on my list. I kind of followed that. So I feel like there's like different kinds of
Me
intuition.
too.
There's like those pulls that you can't really explain.
Mhm.
But then there's also just like your nervous system guidance of like, do I feel that, am I going in the direction of something that'll make me happy, or am I going the direction of something that, is my pattern?
And so that takes a lot of slowing down, pausing, continuous checking. And
Well, that pause is so freaking huge.
uh-huh. Yes.
And it's hard to do, like, in the moment. If somebody really triggers you, it's hard to pause, but that's when you can go back and like reflect on it. But I've definitely gotten better at being like, I'm triggered. Oh, I can't do anything. Don't do anything. It's not about like, what does this mean? How do I respond to this? How do it's like, just walk away and do nothing.
Give it space, give it time, do nothing, and then check back in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because a lot of times too, those triggers are our like self-sabotaging behaviors. You know, we've taken something so personally, we've made assumptions, we have expectations of somebody. A good one for like a lot of the people that I coach, which by the way, I know I did put women in the thing. I have opened it up to men. So if there's men listening, like I do coach men now as well. I'm opening this workshop up in December to men and women. Um, what was I saying? What were we talking about?
Yeah, right. Self-sabotaging behaviors. You had
Oh,
mentioned.
yeah,
Yes.
an example. I think like a really good example is when somebody doesn't text us back. We start dating somebody, it's going great, and they, for whatever reason, take an afternoon and they don't text us back. It's been 3 hours, 4 or 5, I don't, maybe a day, and we just start to write this story.
Mm.
It's coming to an end. What do I do? What does this mean? And it's like we all of the stories that we write are from our past experiences. And that's, we need to start to check ourselves on those because those stories are typically killing us. Not all of them. But then we start to have this heavy feeling and then we'll act on it. Well, I'm going to text him. Okay. And then we start to get passive aggressive. And then he feels that passive aggressive energy. So now he's like, oh, here we go. Same thing, different girl, and it creates patterns externally from us too that like we don't want to engage in. So, and your energy is so powerful when you shift it and you actually are in the state of more detached, like, or you're writing like maybe he's just busy, but I don't need him to be happy. I can go create happiness whether he texts me or not. That's more inviting for somebody to come into your life and step up.
Yes. And that's, again, something that you or each person has some influence over, of how you respond to the lack of text response, right? What your
Right.
story is, or what your brain does, or what your actions are, whether you get passive aggressive or not, and to self reflect and be like, oh, in the past, I would be passive aggressive in this moment. Instead, like you said, go create joy in another way.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sometimes I've found, if my nervous system's activated for something like that, and if I'm again trying to create joy when my nervous system is like activated, it has resistance there. So sometimes I
Yes.
need to allow, and I'm sure you have something for this, yeah, need to allow the
Mm-hmm.
activated nervous
That's a
system,
good point.
but I'm not going to take it out on that guy. Like, I'm not going to be passive aggressive, but this, I can't just move right into joy, so I might need to do something with that energy first. Yeah, go ahead.
It's no, that it's such a good point. And again, this is something I teach in my course because like manifestation teachings are like, you need to be high vibe.
Yeah. Yep.
And you don't. You just don't want to be consumed by your low vibrational emotions or thoughts or feelings, right? Like we're human. And if you go, I forget what it's called, but if you look up on Google, like spiral of emotions, it'll come up with this chart and it spirals all the way down.
Yeah,
And
I've
it's
seen.
like love at the top and fear at the bottom or whatever it is. But we're human. Like we're designed to feel every single one of those emotions in some form or another. You can't bypass them because bypassing is just suppressing.
Mhm,
So a lot of times it'll be like, oh, he hasn't texted me for 3 hours. I don't even fucking care.
mhm,
You do care,
mhm.
but understanding why you care is what's important. Not pretending you don't care, but also not letting the pretending or that you do care consume you, right? Like, do you sit on the couch all day, checking your phone
Mhm,
every
mhm.
50 seconds, waiting for his text to come through? Or do you say, okay, this kind of bothers me, but I'm going to go out and live my life because I'm not so consumed with needing this validation of a text message, right? So it's a balance of like, and when you do that, when you do process the emotions like fully and you say, this bothers me, and then you understand why, you know what you can do with it? Articulate it
Yes,
to somebody else that says,
beautiful.
hey, I just like, this is difficult for me because of what has happened to me in the past. Like my story is this, and like I tend to kind of write that like it's fallen apart and like I'm working on that in myself, but like I don't know, do you think you could maybe check in like if we it makes I write the story that like you don't care when I don't hear from you, and that might be silly, but like my system is telling me it's not silly. So this is when you're getting into a relationship, any relationship, friendship or otherwise. Like if I had a friend who didn't answer me for 3 days, I'd be like, hey, this, like, this is not okay. I don't understand. I text you and like you ghost me and then I feel kind of crappy about myself. If somebody can't reciprocate an open, honest conversation and you are at the level of openly and honestly communicating, you're not aligned. And this is where our detachment comes in, because we need to recognize that this space is not made for people that we have to control.
Right.
This space is made for people who are aligned with where we are. So if we're constantly begging somebody or, yelling at somebody or giving somebody ultimatums to change, that's not a person that deserves a seat right now.
Mm-hmm.
And my vision of it is, okay, it's not that I have to like get rid of another person. It's just, this is a sacred space that I want to keep open for somebody who can meet me where I am.
You are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's common too for some to stay in dynamics where the person is showing them that they can't meet you or they're not meeting you, and then continually engaging in those types of behaviors to try to get them to change.
Yes. And again, I think that's a reflection of our self-worth,
Mm-hmm.
because we're thinking, well, it's clearly me that they're not giving this to. I'm not good enough for them to change. So I will keep shifting and begging and whining and nagging and telling them that they need to change so I can be happy. But like, if you really third party that, it's like, you're not changing so they can be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You're just begging them to be different so that you can feel safe. When really the brave thing is to say, hey, this isn't working. I'm going to keep this space open for somebody who's more aligned. That level of energy will do one of two things. It will cause that person to go, shit, I have to get my stuff together because like I don't want to lose her. Or they'll think, I can't match that. I need to release this.
Yes.
But either way, you're not white knuckling anybody to like change and be different and, forcing somebody to meet you where you are when they can't do that. It's like the simple math is like, they're just not on the same, you guys took an elevator to different floors
Floors.
and you're like screaming at them down to floor 5 to come up to floor 7, but there's no way for them to get there.
Yes. And it's wild because I think in that case we could say that's not a reflection of your self-worth, though it is, in the sense of it's a reflection of what you believe your self-worth is, not your actual self-worth.
Correct.
Yes.
That's, our beliefs are the reflection. Like
Yes.
their beliefs create everything. So if you were taught that you have to work for love or earn love or chase love or put love is so much better than you and the people that you love are above you, like you will still do that
Mm-hmm.
in your adult life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't tell you the countless amount of people that I've been like, hey, why aren't you picking me up there? Because I just never thought that I was like worthy enough to actually be with the people that I really liked.
So I would imagine that's the time to put the attention on like rising your self-worth, like your belief of your self-worth.
Yeah, for sure. And like everybody has a different path. Um, some people can do this in the moment with the person. I think a lot of people need like some solitude and some, you want to call it your healing error, whatever. There's no rules though,
Right.
you know? Um, and like you could start this work today and meet somebody amazing tomorrow who enhances this experience that you're going through, who wants to help you heal and grow and wants to heal and grow themselves. And then you guys do it together. My story is like, I've been in kind of like an isolated state for 2 years and I just moved to Austin and I'm now taking all this like recalibrated nervous system shit and putting it into play. And now kind of part of my journey is like, and that I teach is like, you can't really manifest what you want without doing aligned action.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been thinking about it for years and years and years, and it's like, you can sit on the couch as much as you want and think about winning the lottery. But if you don't get up and buy the ticket, you don't even have a chance.
Yep. Yep. So, right. I think it is that balance of time, perhaps in solitude on self, and also the action steps to put yourself out there, to take some risk, to have some interactions, whether it's in dating or in other relationships or in situations, so that you can get continual reflections of yourself, of where you're already grown, where you are, and also where you will continue to.
Absolutely. And there's no destination.
No.
Like a relationship is not the destination. It's just all part of the journey.
Hmm. Yeah. Of
So
the
the more you can enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you had to put like your story into some sentences,
how
is that like what is that? What would that be?
many how many sentences do I get? um
It's kind of open because I don't know how much you want to share, but I'm open to listening.
yeah, and I'll ask one more question. Like what part of the story are you curious about?
So what got you into this work and to hear that your more personal journey kind of led you to this
Yeah,
work? Yeah.
I actually like this story a lot. So in 2021, I was going through like a breakup with a guy that I dated. It was kind of the same thing. We spent 4 months together, then we crossed the line and we had some drinks one night and we ended up like making out and then we started dating and it was just instantly tumultuous. Push pull dynamics on both of us. I think we both had very similar like childhoods in terms of our caretakers just being um but anyway, so we ended up breaking up, but I was at a festival.
Hmm.
Uh I was at the Cross Festival in San Diego in 2021 and I had taken some Molly. I had It was probably like a 5 to 10 minute experience that I still, what has it been 5 years, 4 years, I still can't put into words. You want to call it an ego death, a spiritual awakening, whatever. Like something just happened to me in that time period where like I was coming out of it and I like, I couldn't see because I'm rolling my face off, but I'm like Googling ego death books. Like, what just happened to me? But it was an absolute pivotal point in my journey. And then shortly thereafter, it was kind of like residual where I was just doing research, and that's when I came across manifestation. Um, More importantly, I came across like specific person manifestation. But the message that was coming through to me from, like a higher realm was trust yourself. That was my message that was coming through to me. And what it meant to me at the time was what you desire is allowed to be there.
Mm,
Stop shaming yourself for loving people who can't meet you where you are because you're not perfect either. And you're not going to get anywhere if you keep like suppressing this and pretending you don't care and getting over it. It's never going to shift. So it was interesting because after that I allowed myself to just care about this person the best that I knew how without anger. Like I was working through
yes.
getting rid of the anger
Yes.
and like blaming him and kind of being a bitch. But one day my feelings for him just shut off and I was like, oh, like so profoundly so that I was like, this works. Like I integrated the lesson.
Yeah.
And literally my soul was like, you're done now. It has never come back. I've talked to him quite a few times. Like we've reconnected and I'm just like,
Those feelings aren't the same.
it's,
Yeah, but
yeah. I mean, I cared about him a lot. I still do, but like, there's no like pining anymore where I'm like, please pick me.
right. That pick me, like waiting, I'll be chosen, or maybe, right? Like even the like, oh, maybe he'll choose me now. Like if you can just have it be that you can still have for contact or connection without it having that need or pull in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, for me, that showed like you're never going to be stuck. You're never actually stuck unless you allow yourself to be stuck or you say that you're stuck. But truthfully speaking, if you're in a growth mindset, there's always a lesson to learn from that, like, kind of like that ache where you feel the emptiness. It's like, okay, how can I fill that void on my own? And that's what I've done for like the past couple years. And now I'm like ready to kind of integrate it all into actual action. Um, but in the meantime, yeah, I kind of like I started to put my perspective out there, and the more I talked about this stuff and the more I say like, hey, the person you're obsessing over, like you're good, the more people are like, oh my god, you hit the nail on the head for me. Like I've never heard it explained this way. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm bringing a new perspective to the
You
world.
totally
So
are. I
Trying to
am
wear
making
it.
anybody else. And so,
Yeah, I love that so much. It like makes my soul so happy. Like my soul right now is like, we're doing it.
yes, yes. And listening to that nudge to put yourself out there and to share in the way that you do. I mean, it appears very, very like authentic and natural, not like prescripted or like I think
Yeah.
it's you being you and sharing from your heart. And that
Yeah,
resonates with me
which
and a lot of people.
as you know can be very vulnerable and very
Mhm,
difficult. So like the
mhm.
more I sink into it, it's just like to anybody who's going through that, like work on giving less fucks about what other people think because you will get there. It's hard at first to speak out and especially to go against the grain,
Yes,
to push against a narrative that is already in society.
yes, yes. So when you said with that guy that you learned the lesson, what's the lesson?
That particular lesson, one of the big eye-opening awakenings that I had with him, so he started dating somebody after me, and I would have like these visions of bumping into him like out in the wild, out with my group of friends and with his. And there was always just this like energy of like, I will get him to notice me, I'll get him to see me. And I was like, why do these thoughts, like these imaginations that come into my head randomly, I'd have my headphones on and I would just drift off. And I was like, why do these feel so heavy? And the click for me was because I thought he was better than me and she was better than me. I was like, oh my God, I'm in my head, my crazy little mind, I am competing with her to get his attention.
Okay, like
And that for
yeah.
me was like, whoa, that one hit me. Like I like pulled my headphones out and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Oh my God. I can't believe that like all this time this has been my pattern in my mind of like this competition of me trying to prove my worth. That's how it would pop up in my brain. And it's crazy because like I teach in my course, your beliefs aren't going to come scrolling through your mind like you're not worthy.
that's all.
They'll come through in thoughts like this, in scenarios like this where you're mapping out in real time how you're going to prove your worth to people. Well, if I do this, then he'll see me. If I wear this, then he'll see how cute I am. If I show up in this energy where I'm just like in a really great mood, he'll be like, damn, I fucking missed out. But all of that, what you have to remember, it's all manipulative.
It's so manipulative. Mhm.
And we don't think of it that way
No.
because it's coming from a place of pain. But when you realize that, that's not actually winning, it's manipulating. And real true winning energy is like when you don't actually care about what other people think and you're able to be yourself. And then subsequently, you call in the people who really do care about you and vibe with your authenticity and want to be a part of your world because you're radiating, hey, I am good enough. And they're like, yes, we see that too. We feel that energy. Let's be friends. And you're like, okay, now you're not controlling anybody.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, not controlling, not competing, not attempting to be chosen or even I really liked how you said the piece of even if it was subconsciously viewing the other person as if they're like better than you and above you and then you need
Yeah.
to get them to choose you so that you feel that you've reached that level.
Validated.
Yes,
Yeah.
that you feel validated, but even to like move up to that level of like, well, once they choose me, now I'm up here. Kind of is how I'm envisioning it or
Yeah. Yeah.
what you said is really interesting because I wonder too on the other side in thinking about people who maybe stay in relationships. This is like total flip flop of that they're not happy with, but they kind of settle because they don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
alone. But like,
Because they're
are
afraid to leave. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and afraid to leave of like, do they view that person as kind of like beneath them, right? The way the ego can just kind of put these categories of like superior, inferior, like I'm inferior, I'm inadequate, I need this person to validate me to reach their level, or like I'm staying in this relationship because I don't believe that I can do any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, yeah, if we're thinking about it on like a tiers
On
kind
the
of
tier
perspective.
type thing, just to
Um,
conceptualize it. Yeah.
but really the way that I'm visualizing
Hmm.
that is they're staying with somebody looking out at the outside world, viewing everybody else above them.
Yeah.
I have to stay here
Stay
because
here.
like there's nothing, nobody else is going to pick me.
Yeah, right, right. It doesn't have to be like, oh, they're worse. It doesn't have to be that way. But it's, yeah, interesting to just, yeah, stay when maybe like something in you knows that you're meant for more, or that you are like greater than you are. You're even more worthy than oneself is giving themselves credit for. And that yearning, that desire, I think comes from that place of like, the desire is there to also propel you.
Fucking yes.
Yes.
So much so. And people run from their desires because they base their their I want to say like allowance, what they're allowed to think about, they
Hmm.
base on the 3D world.
Hmm.
Well, that person's not picking me, not choosing me, not showing up for me. They told me flat out that they don't want me. So I'm not allowed to desire them. And like, okay, you know that you don't want to desire somebody who has flat out said, I don't want you. And if you do, it's probably because you need the validation of like being picked, right? Like I know in my case, that's like I feel so abandoned and so neglected. I just want this person to turn around and make me feel differently.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah.
So
Like
it's
rescue
like, but
you from that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, again, that's okay.
That's
The
okay.
important thing is to recognize that. The important thing is to say, oh, I'm in like a pick me energy so hard right now. Damn it. You know, that's what I do to myself all the time when I'm just like sitting here pining, wishing, like, why is my life like this? I'm like, oh God, all I want is for him to turn around and be like, okay, I choose you. And then I'm going to be happy. Like, that's wild. All
Hmm.
right, let's go
Yeah.
do something that can like bring a little more joy. But here's the thing, like, typically these are twofold, right? When we move through those fears of like, I just want to be picked, I just want to be chosen, I just want to be loved. If we start to pick ourselves, choose ourselves, love ourselves, really show, like, reflect back to ourselves that we can do this. Like, we don't need somebody else to come along and say, I love you in order to feel loved. We can call that in, we can go create that. If we're simply holding on to somebody because we want to be chosen, picked, and loved, and we start to fill that void from the inside out, we'll naturally let go of them. That's what happened with that the guy that I was talking about. Like, I started to fill from my own cup, and my system was like, okay, we're
Yes.
we've filled that void. We don't need that void filled anymore. It doesn't make him a bad person. We're not longing for it anymore.
Yeah. And that's the difference. That's, I think, what you get at is the difference when going back to the beginning of our conversation about letting go is like we're trying to force letting go when you're not ready, right? That it's filling something, even if it's from
Mm-hmm.
that person, it's filling something in you. But if you can create some space of like, okay, I don't need to let go of this person. I can embrace where I am, I can acknowledge where I am, and I can work on creating my own love, my own fulfillment. And then naturally that person you'll let go of.
Yeah.
And I
Or
don't like that's easy. Not easy, but
it
easy.
conceptually it's easy when you can like see it mapped out. It becomes easier to understand where you are on like the spectrum of things. And here's the other thing that I like, the manifestation side of this is my favorite. This is what has saved my life, because I just, in allowing myself to be where I am, what I've been able to say to myself is, hey, if you still desire it, it's absolutely a possibility to show up in your reality exactly the way you want. Like, but you don't have to chase or work for or earn anything. And the more you do, the less you're actually gaining because it's not aligned. And what you truly want, Kristen, is alignment. Above and beyond all the physical things that you desire in this world, what you want are things that are truly aligned with your soul. But in order for me to call in those truly aligned things, I have to align with myself.
Yes.
So that's what I continue to work on.
Yep.
And divine timing is a thing. Like, it will show up at the exact right time.
Yeah. And
Not a
that's
minute late, not a minute early.
mm, yeah.
So if you desire it, if you're like a person listening to this and you're like, God damn, I just really desire somebody that is like not showing up, relax. Like, it's this or something better. Everything's working out and everything's going to show up exactly when it should be, but just focus on you.
Mm. Great message. Just so many
Thank you.
like nuggets throughout, when it comes to the topic, with whether it's attachment, relationships, or really just like alignment with
Hmm.
yourself. Like the relational healing work, what comes through in these situations is really just at least what I'm getting is what's showing you how to come back to self and also still desire and want connection and relationship in a romantic way or platonic way, and that all of that is possible.
It's all possible. And better yet, it's all coming together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you let yourself go to like the realm of possibility, I do this now because like sometimes I'm like, I don't really have a type and I don't know, but then I'll start to like pick things out. Like I'll be scrolling and I'll see somebody with an accent. I'm like, ooh, maybe he'll have an accent. And then like the things I like, I'm like, ooh, maybe he'll be tall. Ooh, maybe he'll have a dog. Ooh, maybe he'll speak a second language. That is so much better and more fun than like that will never happen for me.
Mm,
This doesn't exist.
hmm.
This doesn't happen for me. Like I never get anything good. Just stop that.
Yeah.
Like start to retrain your brain in the positive way
Yes.
on like the side of possibility,
Yeah.
not limitations, possibility.
Possibility. Yes. And that's what, right? Like you help people like really get out of their limitations and step into the limitlessness of.
Yeah. That's my whole course is limitless energy.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, I definitely invite people to check you out, to check out your course, or if they want to work with you one-on-one, or to find you on Instagram. I'll have all of that in the comments and in the show notes. Two things before we wrap up. So I did not forget, back to fear. If you can share a little bit of your approach or how you conceptualize for those working with fear and desire. What is it that you
Oh,
yes.
I never answered that question. In what capacity do you mean? Like just finding it?
If they know what their fear is, right? If it's
Mm-hmm.
like fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, not being chosen, then what? What to kind of do with that fear?
You've got to little by little. Again, you can't. Your nervous system, I always say, is a motherfucking powerhouse. Like you cannot just be like, I'm not afraid of this. You are afraid of it. That's like, this is my fear. Okay, I am really afraid that I'm never going to be picked. I am never going to find love. You can't continue to feed into that narrative. You have to start to rewrite that story. You have to prove the fear wrong. But that usually happens in like little increments. And I have North Stars, like North Star mantras, and this is what we work on in my workshop. Like everything's lining up for me. What's meant for me won't miss. If I desire it, it's still a possibility. These are things that have helped me retrain my belief system and my nervous system
Mm, mhm.
because your beliefs go directly with your nervous system, right? Like, so my fears of like, I have to control the outside world. People are better than me. Like if I don't text this person, how are they ever going to know? But knowing that I'm in a chasing energy, now I don't do it. Like I fight against my nervous system. It doesn't feel cozy at first,
Nope.
but I know like I'm proving the fear wrong right now. I'm not letting the fear win. I see the fear, I acknowledge the fear, I accept the fear, but I'm not catering to the fear.
That's it. Yes. Yeah. Beautiful.
So it takes a lot of awareness. It really does. And practice and like grace with yourself. Because like when you're coming off of a lifetime of, being programmed for some bullshit, like you got to give yourself a minute.
For sure. Right. To just like be in it, to notice that it's there, to acknowledge it, to accept it, to have compassion towards yourself with it, and to then change the pattern little by little. And
Yes.
yeah.
And I will also say, while you're doing all of this, I think our society really kind of plants the seed that like you need to be better, you need to be different, you need to be more healed. You don't. Like miracles can happen in the next 30 seconds. So like keep an eye out for them and log them at the end of the night. Like
Yeah.
what little miracles have happened to you today?
Yes.
I don't care if it's like a butterfly flew by my window or like I don't know, my cup of coffee just hit right this morning,
Hmm.
it hit different. Like write them down. Actively push yourself into abundance and possibility.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yes. Would you like to pull an oracle card with me?
Oh yeah, I would love that.
Yes. Okay. So I will name like a few decks and then you tell me what you might feel called towards. So
Okay.
I have an animal spirit deck, I have a soul mirror deck, and I have what's another one? Let's just go with, or I have herbal astrology. Okay, herbal astrology, animal spirit, soul mirror.
I want to pick the animal one, but I gotta go. Soul mirror is like calling my
I have
soul.
a feeling just because of what we were talking.
I was like, damn it.
I know, and
It's not obvious.
yeah, the animal spirit has been used a lot, which I love it. I love the animal spirit, but I feel like this is fitting.
Yeah, this feels like it's aligned with me.
Yes, just with our conversation, let's go with it. Yep. So it's literally see yourself through the card. So there will be one word, and then underneath the word is two words that are kind of the like polar opposites of each other, and they're like there as that reflection, which is really.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So I will shuffle, and you just tell me when to stop.
Okay. Like
I'm
you tell me
shuffling.
when you're ready.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. Stop.
Okay. Right or left hand,
Right.
and then top or bottom. We have intuition.
That's so wild.
Yes, we do, right? How long did we talk about that? The difference.
I know. We should count how many times we said it.
Yeah,
You can
we
look at the
said it.
transcript when you
Yeah.
load this up.
Yes.
Does it say anything else or just intuition?
No, it's intuition, and then it's confused and clear. So those are kind of the words to take note, even too for yourself of, or for the listeners, right? Like confused, is this my intuition or not? Or unclear on that this is my intuition, or even like you said throughout our conversation, sometimes you're like, this is my intuition and I'm going with it. And 3 hours later, you're like, why did I do that?
Yeah. Things to log. And if you feel like, also, I mean, that's a good thing to note. Like, learn what it feels like to be confused and allow yourself to be confused, and then don't do anything when you're confused. Like, just observe when you're confused and allow the messages to come up, because they will. But this is like, I think why a lot of times people don't allow their intuition to take over, because they're like, I know I'm good, when they're not. Like, just pause.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes your intuition tells you something that you don't feel ready to do. And like, that's hard to listen to.
That's like leaving that relationship when
Yes.
you're like, I know I have to, but I'm not ready. That's okay.
Yeah. And that's okay. Like, it's there. Thank you, intuition. And it's like, okay, in time, I'll come back, or when I'm ready.
I'm gonna get a plan together.
I will. Yes. I'll read. There is a booklet, so I'll read what it says for intuition. This is too funny. All right. Elevate your consciousness by embracing the wisdom of your inner voice. Trust that the answers you seek will come to you in perfect time through clarity and projection of your intuition. Your intuition is your true soul self, unadulterated and immaculate. It's your inner voice and supreme compass, always navigating towards the path of truth and love. It is divine and ancient, a language that emits energy and frequency. So practice awareness of this inner voice, embrace it, and allow its loving invocation. When you connect to it, you are rebuilding the muscles and rekindling your innate gifts and abilities, which activates your thread into the tapestry of collective consciousness. When your outer world is loud, it dilutes this navigation, making its voice muffled and suppressed, and that will lead you to confusion. This is reflecting to you that you need to allow yourself space and calm to reconnect to yourself and your intuition. Acknowledge, accept, and accommodate this awareness, where it will give you the answers and guidance in divine timing. My goodness.
I mean, if that doesn't sum up our chat, I don't know what does.
Thank you. Yes.
Everyone just relax. Everything's on the way.
Yes, it is. Just take in really like the gems from what you shared, but you don't even have to think about it. Just by listening, like I truly believe by people listening, it just comes in. And then, like you said, the space, the relax, trust in the divine timing, utilize the mantras, and like really cultivate this energy in yourself. That's,
yeah, because you deserve it.
You deserve it. We all do. We
deserve it.
You do too,
yes.
Kristen. So
thank you.
Thank you. So it's beautiful. Anything else that you want to share? Want anyone to know before we sign off?
No, you said you're gonna put my Instagram and everything on there.
Yep. Yeah. I'll put everything in like the show notes on Spotify, in the description. And when I share like clips and reels, I can invite you as a collaborator. I can send you some of them, and then we can put it like more in the caption on there as well. But if you want to share like your exact Instagram or website or email, you can say it out loud here too.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, it's the Kristen Ott, Kristen. And I follow Amanda. So um I run the workshops I'm talking about, I run them more or less monthly. We're doing one at the holiday season right now, but if anybody is interested in signing up for them, get on my mailing list because I'll send the updates there, and you'll be able to see which one's coming next. But it's in my all my stuff is in the link in my bio too, so check that out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll put the link there as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yay. Awesome.
All right,
Awesome. Well,
amazing.
thank you, Kristen, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please share your questions, share comments. I'm sure we'll take the time to answer and respond to you, and just appreciate all the likes, subscribes, and shares. Until next time. So thank you so much for showing up for yourself. You amaze me. I love you.
Thanks, Amanda.